welcome to another episode of Stepping Through the Gateway. I'd like to start off with inviting all of you at home to go through those links. Join our Discord, join any of the other things that we have in there. We have games running pretty much every day of the week. We have a forum based type live RP on the Discord forum that you can ask to join. We have several different DMs that interconnect different parts of the story and mechanics and all of that. And every single person, you can ask the people in this call right now. We like to help people feel we like to make you fit in, make it easier for you to get along.
Feel welcome
You just
everywhere.
have you just have to reach out. With that
And
said,
be okay with a little crazy.
A lot of crazy. Good crazy.
with that said, let's put reality behind us. Let's take a step back, a deep breath, close our eyes, and descend into that darkness that separates reality from fantasy. We're not going to our preferred place of that tapestry of sky. We're looking at. We're coming down through a dark, starry sky. We're descending to a place where night has taken the land, where some strange form of undead moans in the distance. Strange creatures of immense size are calling out into the dark. And we find a single spiral of smoke coming from a cave down below. We follow the smoke into a cave front in the side of a mountain. And we duck under into this space, going about 40 feet in before we reach the party that we have come to follow so often. They are gathered around a large fire that's about 15 feet across, with smoke that is going up into a groove in the ceiling of this cavern and trickling out. They are sitting around not by themselves, but with other people that announce themselves as guards for this entrance. This is where we left off. Let's check in, see what's going through our intrepid adventurers, would-be heroes. I leave it to my players.
Bjorn is still passed out.
So how much longer do we need to stand around this fire?
Well,
In about,
at least until everyone's rested, right?
it only takes about 15 minutes of being within the vapor for all the spores to fall off. But most of the ones that have made their way into the cave don't like the fire itself, so it's a place where you can take a seat, take a rest. If you're sticking around up here, we've had 3 waves already.
Well, considering you guys, you did say you're due to be, switching out here shortly, right? Or it's past due?
It's past 2. We've had we're normally on a 2-day cycle where one group stays for 2 days, the next relieves them, and so on and so forth. When I was coming up, they said that one of the wards had something going on, but our group was already on the way up to relieve, so we didn't really get any new information. They could be held up. I'm hoping that the ward is okay.
How many days has it been since you've been up here?
Closing on 3 now.
Oh. Looks like you guys could use the extra hands at the moment.
Extra hands, extra. Hell, if you decided to go on down, getting us a relief would be.
Oh, that's an option. But there's some things I'd like to offload first once we're clear of these spores.
Have you noticed anything else since you haven't heard from them going on with the hordes?
They've been a little bit more frequent. Not as intense, but more frequent. And well, we didn't get reports from the last one or from the last group about the plants are starting to change up here. I wasn't expecting that. Undead is one thing, but well, I've never heard of an undead infection that did anything with plants. Know what I mean?
Could be the undead part of it is just a after effect of something bigger, a different type of deeper corruption.
A couple of the scribes said something. Death is only the second stage. Don't know
Makes
what that
sense.
means, but I can't really. Don't know
Well,
if it really helps what I'm doing up here anyway, along with the others.
he looks to the rest of the party. How many of you have the needles?
Lightfoot raises his hand. I took a few.
I do.
I've been on needles since I've met you guys.
I've got one.
That's a different type of needles there, buddy.
I noticed that they did quite a bit of work in our fight getting up here in the last fight that we had out there on the plains. So just keep that in mind. Those of you who have access to its power, use it. It'll help limit the potential of further casualties.
Access
from
to
what-
what power?
The needle of sacrifice.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
There-
you're
Sorry,
talking-
I had to step away because I heard the kitten mewling.
You're fine.
I didn't know where it was.
You're good.
But
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought you were talking about the other, like, stim pack style needles.
no.
Yeah, Lightfoot does not have any of the other needles.
Um
Just want to make sure that was clear.
Also, it might be a good idea for those of us who are more inclined to range fighting to help watch the entrance. We saw what happens when they get too close and they die. That explosion's not good for anybody. If we can
I
take them off before they get up here,
I
be
hope
all
that
that
you have
better.
your I I hope that you have your own rations because we're we're on our last packs ourselves.
Well, that's part of what we brought with us for you guys. Um,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna offload anything up here with us being so close to the opening. You don't want shit to spoil, but
Tanny, maybe your prayers actually did get answered. You you see a you see a dwarf that he's referring to that is when you think of a dwarf, you tend to think of somebody who is sturdy built. This dwarf is thick with several C's. He is actually wider than he is tall, but it
Bomber.
doesn't but it looks like muscle.
Not bomber. Got it.
So we're talking just a straight wall of a unit. Literal wall.
Well,
You notice something gold is dangling on a chain around his neck that is just barely peering through his beard, which is parts of it are it looks like parts of it have been burned away. It is not a full beard anymore.
Oh.
But he's wearing the same type of armor as everybody else. Bits of leather, bits of metal at joints.
do we have any volunteers to stay up here with these guardsmen while the others of us go deeper?
Ari just kind of takes his violin out, turns it into his longbow, and he says, "Well, you said long range, so I got you."
Bows and spells, either ones will do. I'm not quite as handy with a bow as I am with a blade.
Ari's gonna look at them, and he goes. He holds up a finger, and as he does, the little blue azure flame that is his fireball spell kind of activates, and he goes, "You said these guys are not fond of fire, correct?"
This type of fire, the vapor that comes off of the burned logs, which we're also running low on, they don't like it because I think it has something to do with the spores that fall off you.
Two things. I'll stay with the big leather handbag and keep an eye out. And also, where do we get you more wood?
We've been rationing it, but we have a small orchard down there. Kind of hard to miss it. It's in the main. It's in the first ward, directly under the crystal that kind of looks like the sun.
Um,
Before we wake up the little guy and he runs off again, does someone want to go get wood? Or what are we doing?
Oh, it's like a 2 mile trek to get one way or the other.
The
It's
little
kind of
guy's going fast.
okay. There's also a full gate down there, and there's shit between here and there. We don't really mess with the normal stuff that ends up living in the caves between here and or between the surface and down there.
Shawnee,
Mm-hmm.
you're celestial. Is there any spells that we could potentially gain access to that might keep them from coming in here?
Um, yes.
I'm not so wholly inclined, but perhaps if we could find someone able to use such a spell, we could help them save on their lumber a bit.
Um, it won't last long.
Well, anything's better than nothing.
So just a random thought here, but Lightfoot's currently sitting by the fire. Would that activate his filament ghillie suit?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much everybody within the cave is now glowing. As sparkly lights fill the air. And he's just over there tuning his things as if it's a normal Tuesday.
Um, yeah, over the table, the only thing that I really have in my spells that would block anything out is a wall of force. And that's because of my bracelet.
Okay. Okay. Well, shall we head deeper in and get some of this, get you guys restocked?
We've been holding it for 2 days. It might actually just be easier if you lot went down, made sure that we got relieved.
So is Iroh here or is he down there?
He is not up with this group.
Okay. You want to give me directions?
It's a little bit kind of tricky. The cavern kind of evens out about 50 feet down here. Kind of spreads out, and there's a cavern. If you stay by the right wall, you can. It's the second path that opens up. Might be difficult to stay on the right side because there's small chasms that go a couple 100 feet down. Uh, that second path that will take you down past a subterranean waterfall that has a small pool. Be careful around there. Some of the things that actually like living around here use that as their main water source.
Okay.
And once you go past that, there's or that space opens up to. There's pretty much only two ways to go: off the edge or down the other path, or the continue on the path. The path will wind around in the dark a little bit, and then it will lead to a set or a it'll lead down, and you'll end up at a very large set of doors with some parapets.
Okay.
That's
While
the
he,
front gate of that's the front gate of Ward 1.
okay. Um, as he's explaining this, Adraxon is writing it down, or basically drawing a crude map. um, and just so over the table, so I know, they're not being relieved from outside the cavern. They're being relieved from inside at Ward
Correct.
1, correct? Okay. Well, then I suggest we get down there and see what's keeping your replacements.
Someone want to wake the kid up?
Sounds like a plan.
Um,
Also, before we go, any other tips we may learn before we face them give us advantage that you guys have noticed?
Kind of a crapshoot. The regular shamblers that we've seen, if they're like still desiccated, if they're still a husk, they they move slow. They don't explode when you down them. But no matter what, try not to get scratched or bit. And if you do come across the ones that are bloated, once they are downed, you have like 30 seconds before they blow.
Is there any kind of energy or um, element that they seem to be unaffected by?
They don't seem to care at all about the energy that just sucks the life out of you. Uh, Tanny, what you call it?
Necrosis.
Necrotic. Yeah. Um, they they seem to be resistant against regular unenchanted weapons. So if it's not magic, it's probably not gonna even put a dent in one. Um,
ugh.
they do seem to they do seem to really hate when Tanny hits them. So uh, radiant, be all holy.
That can be done to a point.
Arranged.
Uh, and if one of you does get scratched or bit, don't do the fucking stupid thing from the stories. Tell someone if we can get to you before stage 2, it's better. We can either fix it or make it so that you don't make it worse. I mean,
Understood.
kind of points at the fire, and black the log that is black and white and doesn't look like it's cooking away, but is certainly sizzling. We have the enchanted wood that helps with this sort of thing, and we've got several very smart mages. And in the old man that you talked about, he came in and started helping too.
He down in Ward 1.
I saw him heading towards 8 last 2 days ago.
Okay. Well,
How many
first things
wards
first,
are
we
there?
need to.
How many wards? Oh, last I counted, there were 85. It's like for surface worlders, it's closer to each ward is like a district in a normal city.
First things first, we need to get you guys rested up and replaced. So we'll head down to Ward 1 and see what's the holdup.
Appreciated.
Um, do you guys need a re-up on your rations now, or can you hold off until you're replaced?
We have enough to get us to the end of today. And by today I mean sundown after we were good about rationing before we got into it. We figured we would get a nice little extra bunch on the way back down, but turned out to be
Um,
just enough for scraping
how
by
many
on the
guys are
break.
up here?
Um, there are 9 people that are gathered around this along with you.
Okay. I'm gonna reach into my bag because, well, there's wall space, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna draw the door.
You get a lot of raised eyebrows. Who the fuck does art when the world is ending?
Put the knob to the door that he drew. Crack it open. A little bit
You,
of mobile storage. Don't worry.
As he
you got a door to cold clouds?
I am going to walk inside. And I'm going to grab. How big are the canisters of water?
Um,
Are they about like canteen size? Like,
uh, they're like it looks like 16 ounce like water bottle, but it's
okay,
completely cylindrical. Um, there's a screw top and a screw bottom as well.
so kind of like a thermos.
Yeah, double-ended thermos,
Perfect. I'm gonna
highly
grab.
condensed.
It
I'm
holds
gonna.
more water than what the size is, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab one of the canisters of water and enough rations for these guys to at least get them through another day if need be,
Okay.
and head back out, disconnect the knob, put it back, and then distribute the stuff and explain how the canister works so they don't just go and spill it all on the floor.
Um, the way that it was explained to you and the way that you explained to them is if it is perfectly straight up, it doesn't come out. You can just spill it a little bit, get the water out without it emptying completely. If it is more than 45 degrees, it's going everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, same with the food, weirdly. It comes out in like uh one chicken leg or one sandwich or something
From
like
the
that
boxes.
rolls out of the thing. Yeah.
Okay, because we got boxes, not canisters
Right.
of
You
the
got the
food.
crates, so that can be a regular thing.
Okay. Yep. Just you know, enough rations, enough food to get them through an extra day if need be, and that canister of water, run them through. Make sure you keep it straight. Don't tip it. Anything 45 degrees or more, you're gonna lose all of it all over the place. But you
Kind
can,
of looks at the fire and goes, "Good to know."
yeah. Um, but this should get you guys through if we aren't back with reinforcements by the time your stuff runs out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Looks to the others. Do you guys want to rest here for a moment before we head down, or do you want to start heading out? We can let Biren rest on somebody's back for the moment if need be.
For the record, Biren is still like perched on Ari.
Right.
Deshani's gonna kind of shrug a little bit. I've rested what I've needed. So if you want to rest a little bit, I can stay and watch and
We've been doing pretty well about keeping shifts. Uh, if things keep the way they have been, we have about another 4 hours before the next sign of anything.
How far is it from here to the first set of
None of
doors, you
that.
say?
About 2 miles. Most of that
Okay.
is the winding tunnel that goes from the the level where the waterfall's at down to
You're
them.
fair enough. Given your directions and my rough map here, we should be able to be fine making it down there.
Keep your eyes up. Spiders, some of the stalactites aren't actually stalactites, and keep your head on a swivel around the water.
Good to know. I think
So
we,
far as so far as I can tell, they haven't infected anything down here yet. So keep it that way.
yeah. All right. I say we can all move. We'll rest when we need to. We'll be smart about this.
Well, if we rested for an hour, we could regain some of our hit points if we didn't want to expend any of our resources.
I could say this was about 20 minutes of you sitting at the fire, getting uh, informed, doing all of this stuff so far.
Then we'll do another 40 minutes just so Biren gets a bit more rest before we're actually moving.
That
And
worked.
um, I'll go ahead and burn a short rest.
Uh, Keep in mind, Fenris.
Yeah.
I the entire time have been humming lightly enough that it's not echoing off of everything, but loud enough that everybody can hear it, and you are within range, so you get an extra 1d6 hit points based on your rest,
Okay.
as
So,
long as you're spending one or more hit die.
yeah, I'm spending a hit die.
So you'll get an extra 1d6, and so will anyone else
oh
who
crap.
decides to do that.
Extra d6. Gotcha. So that is 16 points. It's better than nothing.
I actually had already used 2 of my hit die. Can I undo that?
Yes, you can. You just to take that effect, you only need to
Mhm.
spend one.
Okay.
Yeah, you can spend one or more. So you
Yeah.
could keep the 2 and you'd still get the
Well,
extra D6.
I wouldn't have needed it because it brought me up to the full.
Ah.
I wasn't that far down.
I'm only 4 off a max, so I'm okay. The he as he's resting, he's Drax is gonna make sure that the all the rest of the stuff that is needed is where it's supposed to be, making sure his equipment's where it's supposed to be.
Fair.
He's got one stim pack mounted to his chest and one on his back. Um,
Lightfoot kind of stands up, finishes dusting off the excess spores, gives a little goat shake to guarantee that he's clean. Kind of does a little stretch as he just kind of prances along a little softly, trying not to make too awful much noise. Just kind of enjoying the fire. Everybody's glowing, so he's just kind of enjoying the shiny lights. Still looking for his flute though.
He'll find it one day.
One day you will find it.
At this
Okay.
point,
One day when you least expect it.
still muttering in Sylvan about where'd I put that damn flute. This, that, and the other.
all right. So after our hour's rest, is Biren still sleeping?
Is he?
Serby?
Yes. Sorry, I was muted.
Okay. Well, we can start heading down around the pathway that was told to us.
Who am I handing him off to?
Are you
I
still
invite him.
staying at the top?
I mean, I had planned on it, but if I need to go with, I can.
I think they said they were going to be okay, so that we could all just get them
Mhm.
Just
Oh,
recruited.
okay. I missed that then. Yeah, never mind. All right. Ari just kind of nods and says, "Let's go."
Guy's gonna finish sharpening up his axes. He's ready to kill something.
So we can start heading down.
You start moving. The fire was taking up a good portion of the space that made up this turn, the bend in this cavernous move. You guys can skirt around the one side and be able to make your way down the 50 or so feet until it starts to open up into a chasm. Those of you who have dark vision can easily make out that there are chasms that just drop. You do not see a bottom.
Because Ari doesn't have dark vision, he's going to use his light spell, but he's going to channel it through his tusks.
Okay.
That way it hits his tusks and then just kind of filters down the jewels that are hanging and kind of they act like a, magnifier type deal.
Fair. Um, I want to say it was supposed to be in. It is supposed to be down there. Okay. So, you come to this open space, and now with the light, it makes it even easier for you to spot things. There are, or there is the wall that just continues on forward. There are large crevices that are about, at their small end, about 10 feet across and run probably 30 to 50, depending upon the placement in the floor. They make it so that it would almost be a winding path to get through, or you can risk jumping over for speed. And the ceiling is about, at the lowest points, about 30 feet above you, with stalactites that are still up there.
We'll make our way around the holes, not taking any chances.
I would like perception checks from everybody.
Okay.
Those of you who do not have dark vision, I'm going to give you an option. You
Okay.
can either take a -5 or a or disadvantage for this particular roll.
And that's even with my light spell active.
That is going to tell me how far out you actually see, even past the light spell itself.
I rolled a whole 9.
Oof.
I rolled a solid 8.
I got a 24.
21.
I got a 2, Captain, with disadvantage.
I can't decide whether I'm going to take the flat roll or if I'm going to take the -5. I'm going to take the flat roll. I got a 23
Okay.
because I have advantage on perception. So,
Those of you who um yeah, those of you who rolled above a 15 get more than, it's pretty dark in here, the light is helping, and the chasms go into just dark pits. Those of you who rolled above a 15, you hear chittering.
oh joy.
Those of you who got above a 20, you can pinpoint that there are 3 sources of chittering.
Am I able
And
to pinpoint where they're coming from as well?
there is a slight echo. You can tell how many and the general directions, but you're not going to go like, oh, that thing is like 60 feet outside of the light. But you are going to get that 2 of them are coming from almost straight forward, slightly to the left, and 1 is coming from somewhere on the right wall. And there is the sound of soft but heavy breathing coming from somewhere above you.
I'm going to take a look up.
Instantly on alert. Ari begins just kind of chattering, or not chattering, chanting to himself the spell to get his where is it his shatter spell ready, and it goes off the moment anything makes an aggressive attack at him,
So
with that thing being the point of the spell.
fair. Draxon, you said you looked up.
Mm-hmm.
You see a cluster of very large bats that are just hanging, breathing heavily but resting. Uh, you also see that there are some things, there small points of light that are reflecting somewhere in the up in the ceiling, and then they're gone, and then they're back again, like 5 feet to the left.
Yeah.
Eyes.
And it's not a pair of eyes. It is 5, 6, maybe 8 clusters of light reflecting from the light spell.
Hmm.
He'll point them out to the others. Let's just move quietly, carefully. If anything
That
engages, we'll deal with it.
that set of eyes matches one of the chittering, the general
Okay.
direction of it.
Guy's gonna try to see if anything that he's experienced so far reminds him of anything he's experienced back home, as far as like his survival instincts.
Okay. Um,
Or would that be under animal handling?
this would either be a. I'm gonna go with survival because you're going on your the do you feel like predator or prey in this situation? What kinds of animals are uh, have you dealt with that might be similar? That type of thing. I'm
Correct.
gonna let you go with survival on this one.
Okay. An
Also,
8.
how do you deal with? How do you happen to deal? You have advantage. How did you get an 8?
I rolled a 1 and my advantage is 7. That is how I got an
No,
8.
advantage means you roll twice and take the higher.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
The
and you add that to your skill.
I was gonna say the +7's your bonus.
14
got
is his advantage
14.
roll.
Okay. Much better. So, uh, you've seen plenty of bats before. You've even seen a couple of big bats. These are bigger than those, but they seem to be resting even when it's nighttime out.
Um.
And large arachnids are not an alien thing for a hunter to have to deal with.
All right. Looking up, Tormy,
Yep,
at these things, I would assume Ari can see them. A, because of the light spell, but B, because they've been pointed out to him.
the bats are in view. They are clung and sleeping between some of the stalactites, and there when the eyes are pointed at you or pointed out to you, you can see the reflection of your light spell in them, and it is a cluster,
Okay.
and
Um.
then another cluster.
Looking at them, Ari. No, let's not do that. I'm gonna roll me a history check to see if Ari remember or knows what type of bats these are based on his reading, and that's gonna be shit math. 27. Right? 19 plus 8, 27.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So these look something akin to the cowled pingbats that you've seen back home,
Okay.
but from your estimation, if these are just like those, these are like 50 times larger. They are not able to fit in a child's palm. They are able to fit a child in theirs.
Oh.
My name is Betty. Pathetic.
They are approximately as they are in their little wing tombs, they are about 6 feet tall from ceiling to tip of ear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are omnivorous, but if you are comparing them directly to that, they are omnivorous but favor meat.
Before we deal with the threat we see and decide to deal with the threat we don't see, maybe the angel lady should see if she feels anything, if you see what I'm saying. It's a lot of C's, but you get what
So,
Ari, before anything else happens, is gonna kind of just lean. How tall is a Draxon?
how tall is who?
A Draxon.
I think he said
6'2",
2.
Draxon,
according
yeah,
according to
six
your
two,
sheet.
Okay,
6'2".
so Ari's just gonna kind of lean down to a Draxon, get like right next to his ear, and be like, da 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 da, and tell him all that information that you just gave me, Tormy, and
Okay.
emphasize they are omnivorous but prefer meat. We should be careful.
That's why I said we should probably keep moving quietly.
um, given that my perception was nothing, at this point I'll know stuff's around us because of everybody else, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Once people have pointed things out, unless you had rolled a natural one on your previous on the initial one, you can they can point it out to you well enough that you spot it.
okay. So, and having heard um the letter of the day is C speech,
Yep.
I will kind of sense out what's around us.
Go ahead and give me that insight.
Okay. That one's definitely going to be better than an 8. So 17 plus 9, 26.
And following that, please make me a D100 roll. Now I have like 7 things from Robin Williams running through my head. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We miss him every day.
Every day.
All right. 26.
Okay, adding the 26. You feel 3 sources almost directly above you. You are certain it's the bats. They
Mm.
are content, full. They are sleeping. They have all of their needs met right now.
Okay.
There's
So
a
I'll try.
source of hunger that is coming from 3 points out in the dark. 2 points that you can see are clusters of eyes that have been pointed out to you. One more off on the right, on the wall, about 10 feet off the ground, or from your current level, I would say. It's about 40 feet up from where you're at. You feel hunger and a small amount of fear coming from them.
I'll relay that to the group and just say, if those are concerning, but if we can avoid getting into confrontations with them, we'll avoid disturbing the content bats above.
Say again, let's just keep moving and see what happens. Pretty sure we'll be okay as long as we don't disturb anybody.
Are you moving stealthily? Are you moving at a normal pace? Are you rushing through?
When the ghillie soup is equipped, we have a bonus to stealth, correct?
Within 10 feet of him, you have advantage on stealth rolls that involve sight.
Which would be most of the party at the moment, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Alright.
Guy's gonna put Squawk's muzzle on him so he doesn't make any sounds and get into the squatting position to sneak forward.
We'll move quietly forward.
Oh, Ari, please roll a D100 for me.
Okay. Just a sec here. It's gonna be a 43.
Okay. So you guys are moving at a. How many of you are using stealth, and what did you get?
Let's see.
Is the stealth? Is it advantage or a bonus?
Advantage.
Okay.
Well, the advantage got me to a 14.
Without the advantage, I got a dirty 20, my friend.
I got a 19.
I got a 17 with advantage.
Snore.
I got a one.
And can you remind me a Draxon's roll?
Yeah, well, it is a 14.
Okay. You make it around and you come to the first passage off on the right. It is about 30 feet past where Deshani is pointed out the other thing on the wall. You see that there is a depression, not another chasm, but a depression that goes out about 20 feet in a jagged pattern that is right next to that path, and the chasm continues going off into the dark.
Taking a quick look at his map. Alright. Slowly start down the other pathway, keeping his eyes open.
The that tunnel or continuing in this space? Which one?
Is the tunnel off to the right?
Yes.
Try the tunnel.
Okay. I'm gonna roll that instead. This tunnel weaves off to the right, down, and then up and back around to the right again, kind of like it does a slight corkscrew, and it leads to an opening that doesn't look like it spreads out too far. And before you even step past the threshold into this chamber, you hear heavy chittering, a lot of it.
Kind of
Am I
hold his
getting the
hand.
same feeling in here?
Your feeling, actually, could you give me another insight?
Yep.
While they're doing that, I'm gonna look at the map again. This the
This was
directions get?
this was the first branch off.
Yeah.
28.
Okay, and can you roll a d100 for me again?
But that was
Yep.
part. This first branch off was part of the way that we were told that we needed to go. Correct?
You were told the second branch.
86.
Excellent. You feel about you lose track of the count after about 24 separate signatures of hunger being sated.
I'll
Looking
pass
at
that information along.
yeah,
We might be interrupting somebody's dinner.
yeah. Let's head back up. Seems I got a tiny
Yeah,
bit turned around.
down.
So head back up. Go for the keep going into the chasm until we find the second branch off. I'm following the directions. I just didn't have the stuff to write them down.
You're fair. So you work your way around the depression and uh you step off the side so that you don't end up falling into another one of the chasms that's available, and you make your way down the path, comes back up to that right wall, and above you you can no longer see ceiling, and the walkways start beginning to feel like almost spider webs made of stone, as you start seeing that some of them are just 8 feet 8 feet thick of stone, not supported by just the regular earth. They are suspended, and you reach to the second path off to the right that you saw that you were informed about.
Another loud snore comes from Biren. I rolled to see if I woke up. I didn't wake up.
You start stepping into this path. It's about 10 feet roughly hewn, not really round but or square, just kind of a natural shape. The ground has been not shaped by tools but by traffic. It is almost fully smooth, and it starts to descend. You go about 40 feet in a straight line as it comes down a 20-foot slope, or a 20-degree slope, and then it evens out, turns slightly left, and slopes down a little bit more, going another 50 feet. Then you come to the edge of this as about 10 feet, as it flattens back out about 10 feet before it opens to another chamber that you can't see space or can't see anything into the darkness above. You hear water, rushing water.
How long over the table? How long have they been traveling at this point?
With detour, and conversation, I am going to say after their hour rest, it's taken them about half an hour of carefully moving through this space so far.
All right.
Head on a swivel, looking out, moving forward, making sure we're not finding ourselves any trouble.
On your right side, as you step out into this space, all you see is floor, some reflective material, assumed water, reflecting the light from Ari's spell. There is an expanse of darkness that you seem to be on a shelf next to a waterfall that cascades into a pool and down past in a different direction down below. On your left side is just an expanse that goes out into the dark. And hundreds of feet down, there is a small glow that seems to be masked from your view, aside from like the outstretched castings of it. You swear you can see a couple 100 feet, maybe 500-600 feet down, some structures that are backlit.
Okay.
Up here, this shelf that you're on is about 20 feet wide. As you proceed, there is a sudden stillness in the air, which is odd for the fact that there's running water. And as the edge of this pool of water comes into view and the rush, the roar of the waterfall cascading into that pool and down down further again, you hear something move. Not the water itself. You hear a scuff.
Eyes
You
and ears.
see. Give me perception checks.
23.
26.
13.
And at one.
Oof.
Those of you who rolled better than an 11, which was their group stealth check, you catch roughly humanoid figures, bulbous heads. They seem to be wearing something that frames them in some type of dark fabric. Difficult to see them against the darkness behind them, but being monochromatic in the dark works against you. You take another step or two forward. The light catches off their eyes and off the tentacles that droop from their face. You see 3 of these figures barely touching the ground as they are on the far end of this pool of water. They look like they had been collecting water.
Looking at them. Does anything come to mind from stories and
History check
I'll take that.
or Arcana.
It's all one and the same. We're gonna go history just because of stories and stuff.
Okay.
17.
You've heard of the Underdark and some of the perils of it in the material plane attached to your version of the Feywild. There were plenty of races that had their own little collections, kingdoms, and they were always warring against each other. But their stories, you never really heard exactly what all of them were. There were 15 or so races down there that were constantly picking fights with each other. Most of them trying to take from each other or take people from each other. Always thinking they were the better. You can't quite put your finger on it, but something that has tentacles on its face is. There are only so many tails.
Cthulhu.
He looks back at the group. Do they notice us? I'm guessing because of the light.
They have noticed you because of the light. That is a fairly easy
Okay.
thing.
He looks back at the group. I don't think these are gonna end up being civil. Best be prepared to throw down.
Somebody should probably wake the kid up.
Anybody who happens to have any experience with any version of the Underdark can also roll an Arcana or History.
I definitely would.
Okay, above the table. I don't know what that is. So would Guy have encountered that?
The Underdark is in most versions of D&D worlds. The surface world has its own kingdoms, and then there is space down below where immense chasms have. It's usually where drow come from, where deep dwarves, where deep gnomes, and other creatures that never see the sun are from.
Yeah, he ain't been there. I'm good.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
You have heard, and there is a
Hmm.
twinge in the back of your neck. as this is the first time you've ever gotten to encounter the filth that is the Illithid.
Ari would have obviously read from his own world this time, not just from the gateway, but 23 on his history.
Excellent. And can you go ahead and give me another D100 roll?
Shawnee's gonna kind of shiver a little bit, realizing what these are.
That's a perfect hundo.
That tips you over. Give
Yay.
me one moment.
Okay, while you were doing your thing, I will be right back. I'm gonna go get me some more coffee.
Actually,
Upon
coffee sounds good.
seeing, what's that, sir?
I said, actually, coffee sounds good.
Upon seeing the angel lady shiver, guy's gonna ask her, what are these things again?
She'll break down basically what these are and why she's not a fan.
Okay. Well, this
Um,
choice has just got a lot easier.
so basically, I'm not sure
If
if you know what they are, but they're kind of brain suckers, basically.
If you can toss that together and inform Ty when he gets back.
Those little tentacles reach into your brain.
The moment you say that, Lightfoot's eyes go as wide as a dinner plate, and his head just snaps to you faster than lightning. And in a tone that doesn't sound like his normal tone. It actually sounds somewhat proper. You hear, now what in the fuck did you just say? I mean, what in the hell?
Yeah, not a fan of those.
I legit missed what he called them. That's why I asked.
Illithids or
Illithid.
mind flayers for those who are trying to look them up.
Oh god, that's what they are. I also missed what the actual name of them was. Oh
Yep.
god. Oh
Yeah,
god, no.
we just hit a call.
No.
3 of them.
I have had a character get his mind ripped out by one before.
Yep.
3 minutes into a game.
Guys, if Lightfoot dies here, I've got another character already in mind. Just saying.
Oh god. We're in a place where that means you would have to come from this world if you were coming right back in. That's terrifying.
All right.
His technical race will be a Goliath, but he acts and thinks he's a human.
Man, I've played a full-on half giant. They are fun. But
Okay. That as soon as Tyler gets back, that is ready, or you can add it to his sheet.
okay, I'm gonna hop over there.
So how
Move it
far are
on.
these things from us?
They're about 40 feet away.
I'm back.
About 40 feet, huh?
Yep.
Over the table. Is anyone waking up, Baron?
Ari will wake up Biren as soon as I'm told, hey, let's wake him up.
Oh, we're definitely waking them up with mind flayers in the area. We're not leaving anyone asleep and prone.
I was gonna
Oh,
say,
no,
the moment that Lightfoot heard that they reach into your brain with tentacles, he would have immediately just started shaking his arms violently, like, "Hey man, get the fuck up!"
By the way, Ty, go ahead and refresh your character sheet. You have your new ability. It is called
Okay.
Resonating Inspiration.
Ooh. But yes, no. Ari would have woken Beard and been like, "Hey, things awaken."
Huh? What? Where are we? What
Came.
happened?
Campfire.
Huh?
You pass out from running. We're heading down to the first floor to check on the replacements for the guards up top and at the cave. We're in a bit of an issue. Get yourself ready.
Um. And what?
And Ty, you can also just look at the full stat sheet of a normal miner.
Okay.
That's what that is what you brought with 28.
You get everything.
Gotcha.
That is what you remember as a mind slayer from your neck of the woods. Things may be a little different here, but that's a good framework.
Right. Okay, sure. And he would have taken the moment to be like, "Hey, just so everyone's aware, this is some of the shit these guys can do."
Heavily telepathic, resistant to magic.
Bjorn is now fully awake.
Um,
He was still kind of drowsy, but as soon as you mentioned that, he is fully awake.
Quick question regarding the resonating inspiration thing.
Yep.
Is that on top of my normal bardic inspiration die?
The bonus proficiency is, yeah,
Okay,
the
that's what I was
proficiency
asking.
bonus is, and then if they roll maximum on the die, you get 1 use back.
Guys, the cat wants to play D&D with us.
I'm cool with it.
He just rolled a 2 on a D4.
Mickey's first roll, yay! Not bad too.
He's got cat stats, except for the HP pool, because it's a cat, has rolled over onto its side, and it is now a sideways 8.
There we go.
So, how far does the land get to? Are they on the land or are they over
So
the water?
let me paint you a general picture, even though some of this is going to be still lost in the dark for you. The path is about 20 feet wide. About halfway across, there is a pool of water, and that is about 20 feet by 10 feet.
Okay.
There is a waterfall that is about 30 feet across that feeds into that pool and then cascades down a destroyed hole that goes down into the further down uh, abyss. This path uh, is roughly rectangular. There is nothing but a drop over on the left. You do not see ceiling above you, and this goes for about 100 feet.
Okay.
So that pool of water is about. It, they are on the other side of the pool of water, and you are about 20 feet away from the closer side of the pool of water.
Okay.
Meaning,
So,
even if Biren is at the very back, his 60 feet of dark vision, he can spot these things if he makes a perception check.
so they're about 40 feet from us, but they are still on the path or
Mhm.
part of the path. Okay.
Yeah,
21.
yeah, you easily spot these three. One is starting to stand up. The other two are barely touching the ground.
Draxon pulls the blade off of his back.
They haven't done anything to pull aggro yet, have they?
I was letting you guys take the little bit of time to prep yourselves.
Okay. Would you allow me, since I have that held action for the spell, and attach it to an arrow from, like, attach the spell to one of my arrows for my bow, so that way when I fire it, the spell goes off.
Oh, yeah. Hang on.
You
No,
guys
Shawnee has
you
them.
you guys do have an apparatus for that exact effect.
Oh,
The
Dashani
Shawn,
has arrowheads that are bottles that
Yep.
take that on.
and
oh,
he'll
okay.
pull out an arrow that looks like it has a corkscrew on the end and hand it to you.
Okay. As you hand it to him, the
I'll hand him a
magic,
bottle.
yeah, the magic that's been building up in his hand, he just kind of transfers it to the bottle and lashes it to one of his arrows as he
No,
draws.
no.
No?
You latched it to the arrow that he just handed you. I handed you the container. He handed you the arrow.
Oh, I see. Oh,
So
that's what I do then. Yeah.
you cast the spell into the bottle, you recork it, and then you screw the cork onto the arrow so that the bottle becomes the arrowhead and the spell is in the side.
Yeah, gotcha. That's what I do as I draw it and take aim, and I'm like, okay.
Initiative rolls, everyone.
Um.
Hey,
Well,
here's
no,
my
not
shit
for you.
rolls of the night.
Woo! Got a 19.
I'm at. Is that a 4 or a 7? That's a 7. Okay, 17.
I got a 16.
I'm at a 17 as well.
Your dex beats mine, so you'd go first.
You sure about that?
I'm a dirty.
Uh, I have a 8.
Oh,
So
okay, yeah.
I'm positive.
I
Let
got
me let me set this the same way that crit roll does it. 25 to 20.
That 21. Well,
Okay.
no, sorry, 20. What am I thinking in my last roll?
Then 20 to 15.
19.
17. Ari got a 17 as well. I think Kriv got a 19.
Sure did.
Okay.
Lightfoot got a 16.
— 15 to 10, or that covers all of you, I think. Yep.
Beats.
Yeah, to 12.
Okay. Just so that I keep the order correct. So, seeing the arrow actually leveled at them, the one that is closest forward spreads its arms, and you see an intense. Those of you who can see him sees an intense look between his eyes, and then a cone kind of emits from him. I would like everybody to please give me an intelligence saving throw.
Is this a spell?
This is a psychic effect.
Oh, okay.
This isn't. Actually, it says magical, so yes, you can use. It does affect as magic.
Gotcha. I got a
19.
16.
The question is, what kind of magic? Just psychic magic? Is this like a magical sleep? Is it
It is a cone that is going to do two things depending upon what you or how well you do. The DC for this is a 18 intelligence save.
Oof.
I nat
Ah.
2020.
I did as well,
Nice.
actually.
I got a 19. Thank you, Jesus.
Oh, thank God I got a natural 20 as well.
Four.
Damn.
Lightfoot's got no bonuses on his intelligence saves.
Intelligence save. I got a 22.
Okay. Leaves one person.
I got a 21.
Excellent. So I don't have to worry about the secondary effect, but all of you take end up taking 12 points of psychic, and that is the halved amount. Next up is Buren.
Real quick.
Yes.
Never mind. I was gonna say, can I uncanny dodge for half? But it's an attack, not. That was a spell. There was no attack roll to it, right?
Right. It was a
Yeah.
because there was no attack roll, it doesn't count for that. It was a saving throw, and because it wasn't a dex, your other thing can't trigger either.
Yep. All right. Eyes.
Ow.
Okay.
18.
18 hits.
Well, you know what needs to be done.
Which one was this?
The good one.
Which one is this?
I need a wisdom save, a constitution save, and an intelligence save.
Jesus.
A flashback. Got it.
That's a 9 bang.
And upon seeing this guy, Curie's gonna make a mental note that he needs some for his crossbow.
Did you turn your eyes away from them?
Yes. As soon as you said eyes, mine immediately shut.
I was asking Guy.
Oh, fair.
I was
Actually,
looking at you, not at what happened.
okay. And what about Kriv? Because they haven't been with us when I've used this before.
I would assume, yeah, because that silent damage hit me. I would assume just cover my eyes from whatever that thing was doing, is
Okay.
what you were meaning. Not
Yes.
necessarily what you were about to do, but yeah, maybe that'll stop the pain behind my eyeballs.
The arrow strikes it straight here between the two eyes. It goes off. It is still standing and does not seem to be screeching, but it is turned after it reestablishes itself. It's kind of pointed slightly in the wrong direction.
All right.
Is that
And
your turn?
no. Remember my tech? I get an extra attack.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I'm feeling like using a couple charges.
I want to
Oh,
know why
wait.
that is.
Never mind. No. Because We were already known to be here. I wasn't hiding. So I don't get my sneak attack. So let's go with.
Hold on, sir. Would my large, imposing form have pretty much hidden him? Because I'm like 3 times his size,
Mm.
and he was on my back.
They're telepathic,
Y-
guys.
Fair
That's
that
point.
one.
Fair
Different
point.
point. Which one are you targeting?
the front one. The one that just hit us with the attack.
The one that you hit with the previous arrow. Okay. Um,
Are they lined up?
you please give me an insight check. They are not lined up. They are spread a little bit.
You said insight check?
Yep.
That's nat 20.
The reason why this creature is slightly off kilter, you've blinded it.
I kind of figured.
Guess what blind makes attacks do?
Have advantage.
Yes.
I will use 2 charges on my bow. So I have to look again. What is my sneak attack damage? How do I not know this? 4. Okay.
A good question.
All right. Let's this time I am.
And I should roll for the others.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to make all 3 of them make those
That's
rolls.
fair. The lead one, you can tell, is just barely off kilter, can't quite see you. It's currently trying to navigate the different colored circles that are in front of his face.
That is a 18 to hit.
That hits.
All right. It's gonna take me a minute, y'all.
Of course it will.
Let's see. 10, 13. All right. No, 14. I think I lost one. Yeah, I lost one.
Count out what you've got and roll one more.
Yeah, no. 81 points of damage.
You see him pull back the bow, whisper something to the string, and the arrow flares to life as he lets go. It doesn't hit the same spot that he'd hit before between the eyes. It hits into the chest with such an impact that it kind of slowly looks down and then goes completely limp and hits the ground. Dishani, you're up.
Okay, doke. I'm going to the one to the. Is it the one to the right that's kind of disoriented as well?
You can do your own insight check if you would like to check how they are reacting to the flashbang.
Okay, hold on. $27.
And then please give me a D100.
41.
From the two of them, you feel it's not the absence of fear. It is fear that has been overridden by their imperative of how dare something so low down one of their own. They do not seem they rolled really well. They do not seem like they are really all that affected by the previous flashbang arrow.
Okay. Then I'm still going with the one to the right. And a 29 to hit.
29 hits.
All right. Flash of light streaks at him. We're guiding bolting, so give me a second to roll the d6s. $34 points of what damage is this? Radiant.
Okay. Up next is Krev.
There we go. Didn't realize I was still muted. All right, cool. Huh. Let's see here.
No, there's been enough C tonight.
Hmm.
What begins with the letter C, guys?
The vitamin C.
Coffee.
Yes.
Coffee does indeed. Oh, let's see here. All right. So we haven't hit the one on the left yet, correct? I guess I can go after that one. That sounds phenomenal. Let's do that. So I will approach the one on the left and I try to cave his head in with my Morning Star.
Sounds nice.
Right, so let's see. Roll to hit. Please be good to me. Oh gosh. 9 to hit.
I'm
Might-
sorry, but your first attack misses.
Yep, that
You
absolutely.
do have a second.
All right, I will go for it. D&D Beyond does not like me this evening. Oh, it's a bit better. 19 to hit.
You hit.
Damage, piercing, chilies, 11 damage. Excuse me. Ooh.
It takes the hit in the shoulder and glares at you.
Oh my.
Next up is Draxon.
Yep.
Okay. Seeing this, Draxton is going to move up to them. I'm going to move up to 20 feet outside of them.
Okay.
And I am going to make we are going to we're gonna make 3 attacks. The first one is I am going to let's see something really quick. I'm gonna try to hit the one on the right with a dart.
Okay.
Let's see how well this goes.
I hate to do this. I'm gonna take like 20 seconds. I'll be right back.
You're good.
I was hoping they were lined up so I could just go straight through all 3, skewer them all.
Right? I need to check.
And I completely forgot I could have saved us some of that damage.
How so?
Deflection arrow.
Oh, fair.
Oh wait,
Well,
does that say a physical attack?
yeah, it's got to be a physical attack.
Okay, never mind then. I was thinking I could have, but you're right.
I was hoping if it was I was hoping it was a fucking spell because I've got that pauldron. So if I would have rolled a nat 20, I could have counter spelled it.
Okay, I am back.
Okay.
Welcome back.
So my dart is a dirty 20 to hit.
That does hit.
Perfect. And that is, let me go back to the armor. They take, oh, nice, 4 points of piercing damage. Um, and then for my next 2 attacks, the first one, he swings the blade around the side, extending it during the swing. And I am going to negate my cold resistance and make this a great weapon strike.
Okay.
So, I do need. Why did I go to features and traits? I want this. I need to go back to this here. So, okay, that's what I needed right there. Oh, that's a 19 on the die. That is my new crit range.
Fair.
So, okay. D8, 2d10.
By the time Bjorn and Adraxon go, there's nothing left for anybody else.
I'm not doing that
On
much more damage.
big creatures, maybe,
Let's see. 10.
but mass amounts of small ones, there's still plenty of party to have.
Plus 10. Plus 8. Plus. What is. Plus 5. Plus 5. Okay. And then roll. And let's go ahead and I need a strength save from him. DC is going to be 19 plus 11 is 30 minus 10 is 20. So a DC of 20.
His 15 doesn't do it.
Okay. So he takes. Let's see. 4. He takes 66 points of slashing and cold damage. No. Sorry, I did that wrong. Let me roll this one more time because my thing is tripled, not doubled anymore. 7 plus 4. So 80 points of slashing damage, and he is pushed back. He is knocked back 10 feet. Judging by the direction of the swing, probably 10 feet back into the one on the left if they're that close to each other.
You see this slash come across as the weapon extends out. It catches him by surprise, seeing the distance. You catch him right in the ribs under his arm, and it carries to about the middle of his chest before his body gives. And it's not so much that you pushed him, it's that ragdoll physics happen after you die.
Fair enough. Where does his torso land?
It's not that you separated it completely, it's
Okay.
that about 1/3 of his torso is held together correctly. He kind of rolled off to the side. He is maybe 2 or 3 feet away from the other one.
Cool. Bonus action because I don't have enough move. I have enough movement to get within the 20 feet, but I'm going to bonus action teleport to his body, destroying the dart that's lodged in his chest. Step behind the other one to invoke flanking with Kriv and take my last strike.
Okay.
And that is definitely not a crit. That is a dirty 20 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. This is 10 plus
The fact that the second and
31.
happen to have rolled a consecutive 2 and 3 for their initiative kind of screwed them completely.
31, 39. 39 points of damage. And that is
It is paying attention to the enemy in front of it. your weapon carves up its back, and it arcs. A river of dark liquid comes from the chasm you put in its back, but it is still clinging to life.
Yep. Um, and we are going to take a defensive stance.
Ari, you're up next.
Okay. Let's go. Gonna expend one charge on my bow, so I get advantage on the attack roll. That is a 22.
That hits.
Well, do I go with the bonus on the bow of sharp notes or the violins? Because the violins is +3, whereas the bow of sharp notes is +4.
It would be would be the violin, because the violin turns into the bow. You're using the spell arrow, not the violin bow as the arrow.
That is correct.
Okay, so then it would only be a 21.
Still hits.
Okay. So that's a D8. That's gonna be a 6 on that. But the spell was attached to it too, so I need whichever one of the creatures are still alive. Oh,
Just the one.
yeah, just the one, but I also need con saves from every creature within a 10-foot radius. Because
Well,
yeah,
a nat 1 does not help it.
does not, no.
I have a question.
Hmm.
Okay.
Tormy.
Yes.
Can I choose to not have my pauldron go off?
Let me go back and read it.
Also, we never put the corkscrew arrows into D&D Beyond, or the spell
Because they were
arrows.
just they were we didn't put
That
them in
does not have. I did not put the word may in there. It does not. But it acts as a dispel at a 3rd level. What level spell did you put in? Or what spell slot level did you put in?
A 2.
Sorry,
Unfortunate.
Ari.
But
Sorry, Ari. So as you fire this arrow and hit this fucker, a Draxon shoulder pauldron just lights up and your spell does nothing.
the spell sucks into the pauldron. Here's the fun fact though. It is still arced, and you hit it right between the tentacles in the throat, and it slumps back onto a Draxon.
Oh,
It was that close to death.
okay. Still, the fuck?
Serb, I think we didn't do the corkscrew arrows because there's nothing special about them except for the fact that you can put something in it. So there's not.
Well, I didn't know if the arrow actually would do any kind of damage as well. Would the bottle that you cast the spell in, would that do any damage?
So there are. It all depends on the stopper that you put in. If it is a regular stopper, the glass shatters. I may, depending upon the situation, I may increase the damage by 1 or 2. If it is one of the ones that has the inertia stopper, the uh, the bottle does not break.
Okay.
I was about to say, if you just negated all damage I did, Fenris, you're not gonna like what happens to Thorin.
No, you still did damage with the arrow.
Not
Good.
my fault. I'm not the. I don't control if that goes off or not. That's why I asked Torme.
No, but you knew I had the spell attached to it.
I forgot, honestly.
Yeah, that makes me feel better. Nah, I wouldn't take out my frustrations in one game out on a different character in another. I wouldn't be that mean.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, you're right, I would.
But
We know better.
the
I, I
real
would I would just do it in the AP game and put him in a situation where he fucks something up for the other 2 games.
Upon verifying they're all dead, guy's gonna take a small sample of flesh from them and put it in the vial in his pouch.
Creepy, but okay.
what area of them? Tentacle from their head, piece of their head, one of their fingers, what?
Piece
I
of the,
recommend the I recommend the tentacle.
the tentacle.
Yeah.
Lightfoot would also take some of the tentacle goo.
Couple of tentacles. Go ahead and write them down.
I am
Um,
after they've taken what they want. I'm gonna use Wave's Edge and I'm going to remove their heads from their bodies
okay.
as a
Um,
precaution.
fair
Um,
enough.
we just made a lot of noise in here. We should probably keep going sooner than later.
Ironically,
Yeah.
you made a lot less sound than you were about to.
Yeah.
Seeing as I stopped the shatter spell.
So, about 50 feet from where you're at, or gathered around those corpses, um, there is the other end of this passage that opens to another small cave. I would like investigation checks from anybody searching around here, and survival checks from anybody who is taking apart from one of the, or taking physical parts from the illithids.
Well, I'm not taking anything from them, so I'm just removing their heads so they don't come back as zombies.
Um,
Fair.
22 on investigation. It's not the highest.
Modified 20 on survival.
Whew. Very nice.
19 on survival with advantage.
I'll roll investigate. I'm gonna actually help Biren look around.
16
So
investigation.
Well,
Biren gets
The
I mean, I had a 24, but let's see. No, 24.
so the survival check, the two of you get 3 tentacles before the bodies lose their heads. So who is checking what with the investigation checks?
What is a 7 plus 12? That'd be a
19.
19.
Okay, so yeah, I got a 19 on my investigation, and I'm just looking around for anything of note and of interest. And the cat just rolled It got. Wow, that's sad. The cat just rolled my d20. With my plus 12, it got a 25.
That's fucking hilarious. I'll check the bodies, I guess.
Okay.
I'm checking the room.
Yeah, around the area.
So I'm going to start with the bodies and work my way out. We got a 19 for the bodies?
Yeah, sure, that's fine. It's just Ari's just looking for anything of interest.
And it was either Guy or Kriv that I heard also was doing the bodies.
Yeah, I was on the bodies and I got a 22.
Okay. So between the two of you, you find 3 vials from each body. One of them is crushed. The you find that it looks like they had the same types of vials. One of them has a tadpole in it that is kind of going up and down. One of them has a red liquid, and one of them has a black and silver swirling liquid. The the one that is only 2 of them is the last one I described. There are 3 of each of the other 2.
So
Moving
3
outward.
tadpoles, 3 red liquids, 2 black swirlies.
Correct. Moving outward from that, the pool is the next closest thing. The pool and the waterfall. So the waterfall cascades down. It's about 30 feet wide. There is something hard enough that it feeds into this pool. And then the pool also adds back to the waterfall. On either side, right next to the wall, there's like a 2-foot gap where the water has just poured so hard through that it's made holes on that side of the wall. Um, in the pool, it is a consistent movement across the top of the water, but you find that there is an array of stones that are at the bottom. You're not sure if they're naturally there or if they are placed there in a particular way. And as you move further from that, the edge, when you come up to it, you if you didn't have the light way down there showing that there is something down there, you wouldn't be able to tell how far down it goes. And it is not a rough edge, it is sheer. You look up, there is no sign of ceiling even within the light, or even with the extension of your dark vision with the light spell.
Lovely. That's wonderful.
Yep.
Oh, I think Baron's correct. I'm gonna pull out the map that I drew and follow the path that we were instructed to follow.
You continue on towards the other side, go into that opening in the wall, and you start to feel a slight degrade of it turns from maybe 1, 2 over the course of a minute or so of travel. It is a 15-degree decline, and it feels like you are consistently turning just ever so slightly to the left. This goes on for a while. Some of you start counting in your heads. 1 minute, 2 minutes. With the distance that you've gone down since the fight, it takes you another 40 to 50 minutes to go safely. The ground isn't slick, but it's smooth. So it could be dangerous for you to lose your footing and go into a perpetual fall.
Is it open on one side or is it just a tunnel?
It is a full tunnel. There is no opening on one side or the other. It is just, it kind of is just a immense corkscrew. The bottom half of a gumball machine.
Hmm.
You walk for about 40 minutes and you finally come to a point where it evens out and straightens off. You go for about another 60 feet and you after the 60 feet it opens back up to an open area, and as you get to this spot there is light cascading out behind from behind some parapets and a giant metallic wall gate, and you lean ever so far back. Actually, only really Ari is tall enough for this to be able to just kind of get a little bit of a tippy toe and see a crystal that is blaring yellow light. From the distance that you estimate, it is probably about 60, 70, maybe 80 feet across, semi-spherical, lodged into the ceiling.
Lovely.
Biren's body slams into the door because he got bored and kicked back on his heelys. Rolling.
I think since we're so close to midnight, it actually is a good place for us to take our stop. As Biren hits those doors ever so slowly, but they still have that thunderous sound of metal knocks on metal echoing in a cavernous space. I swear I can speak English. Um, we're gonna leave this space. We're going to leave the group just outside of these doors. As our collective consciousness pulls back into the darkness away from them, away from the light that is so far from how deep this is. We're not even going to pull up into the sky. The darkness takes us. And we're going to ever so gently come back through that inky blackness, open our eyes, take that deep breath, and sadly re-engage with reality. I hope everybody at home enjoyed what we did here tonight. This story is starting to pick up. I hope that my players enjoyed what they got to do tonight as well. Show off a couple of their little new gadgets, get a little understanding of how they can work together, and how medium-sized threats are not really that big a deal for them. And with that, I'd like to do the exact same thing I did at the very beginning. Please, come join us. There's nothing better than being able to listen into one of these live if you don't want to wait for this to come up a week later and you just want to be able to listen live, please come. We'll add you to the different things so that you can listen in and comment and watch the meme channel go insane. But as I said at the beginning, we've got 5 different games that run throughout the week from 4 different DMs, including this one. We have loads of fun, and we currently don't have a cap on how many people can be in any of these games, save for the Tuesday one, which is for our Patreon supporters. So, anybody, please come. Tell some stories with us. Have a good night, everyone.
Night.
Night.
Everybody.